Well, you got to also realize DJ Demetrius just got shoulder surgery.
Yeah.
So he's still rehabbing from that, and who knows how long that's going to take. I don't know how complex the shoulder surgery was, but
yeah. Still interested in that fight. I mean, it's a big one for Demetrius Johnson, especially. He needs that extra little push over. I was trying to give him some tips, some tricks when we was doing the media tours together for
to talk shit.
No, not necessarily to talk shit, but. Because he's not going to be able to come out and just talk shit.
No,
he's
not
gonna
his
look,
style.
It's not his style. It don't work. But to round out his game a little bit more, let's say that.
Right, I know what you're saying.
Because and I'm going to go back to the most well-rounded fighter, you got to be able to promote too. You got to be able to see people want to see you fight too.
Right.
And that thing is a stress. It's a stressor on your training. Like you said, you got to get up at 6 a.m. because when you do it, you get more media requests. So you get to have those interviews more. And that's a stress. And it's something that you, Baron, that your opponent don't necessarily have to. A guy like Conor does a lot more media than his opponent do.
Of course.
It's a bigger stress. And, if you can handle all those stresses and still go out there and compete, then if you shy away from that, I got to take that away from you as far as being the best power fighter. You know what I mean?
That's interesting. But if it's not Demetrius, then who the fuck is it other than George? And George isn't really fighting.
It's Jon Jones. It's for sure Jon Jones.
Yeah.
I think
John's
George is
not really fighting right now either.
Oh, you saying right now in the sport?
It's hard because Jon.
It's up there.
I don't think Jon took PEDs, and people give me a hard time about that. I don't think he did. I think he took something tainted, just based on what USADA has said about the levels pre and post test. I think he fucked up and took something.
Fucked that money up, man. I was rooting for him too. Fuck that money, but he can still
come back
and be much bigger. Yeah. Like I said, controversy, especially when you're black in America. Controversy is one of the best things that can happen to you, really.
Well, Jon, when he's loose, when when him and Daniel were in that press conference and Daniel was talking shit, he goes, "I beat you after I did cocaine."
Yeah, when Jon's just himself,
exactly.
I mean, he's huge. He's gonna be the biggest. He could have already been the biggest star if he just been himself from the beginning.
If they don't really suspend him for very long, and he comes back within a few months, it's entirely possible that he could come back. And be the biggest still of all time.
I think he's going to be way bigger, especially after, like I said, controversy is a great one when you're black in America. It really is.
Well, it's not just that. It's like for Jon, like how much more focus will there? I mean, my fear is that he's going to somehow or another sabotage again, and that this is not just this. That these lessons aren't sinking in. Because there's been so many of them. The car accident where broke the lady's arm, and she's pregnant. He runs away, and then slamming the car into the tree. There was so many, and then this, the first test positive, and then the second test positive. Like, fuck, the brawl at the press conference. Fuck. It's like there's so many things.
I think that goes back to, not being delusional and having the right team around you and somebody that you really listen to. That you really, truly listen to. Not just somebody that you just kind of, all right, yeah, I hear you. Because it's easy to get that way. It really is.
I'm sure.
And I've approached it a couple of times. You get that, especially when you got that confidence in the thing that made you great in the first place. It can be like a hindrance to you too. And I think a lot of it has been, or at least a lot of my growth in the past couple of months has been me getting in my own head and understanding it and kind of breaking it down.